Hello, I'm Israel. Welcome to the latest episode of Talk. So we just finished our BC games and Japan wins the championship. And after a few days, we will start a new season. So before a new season starts, I just do some team analysis and player analysis and give some power rankings and my top 200 players in the new season. Okay, so just like past 2 years, let me just talk about how do I evaluate the top 200 players. So you just divide the several steps. So the first steps, I just watching the ranking of WAR, and I just take an average of 2022 and 2021, and the average of 21 to 22 and 20 to 22. So I just take the average of the world rank between these four numbers. So, for example, for like Shohei Ohtani, so in last year, he got the second place for the WAR in 2022, and he got the first place of WAR in 2021, and for the total WAR in 21 to 22, he also got number one. But in 20 to 22, he got the second place of the WAR between 20 to 22. So the average for this four number is 1.5. Okay. So this is the first step. And the second step is get the average number between the ranking in the step 1 and the ranking of last year. So for example, for Shohei Ohtani, so the average in step 1 is 1.5, and the ranking last year is 16. So the average is 8.75. Yeah. So if the player didn't list in last year, I just put them behind 200 and order them by the ranking in step 1. Okay. So, and the third three is the average of the number in step 2 and the prospect of the WAR in this year. So this is the number 3, and then I do some manual. It's just based on my subject opinion. Okay, so this is my 4 steps for this ranking, and also the world ranking are come from the Fangraph website. Okay, so this is the role I evaluate the top 200 players in the new season. Okay, so the next part, just like the past 2 years, let me just introduce each team and divide it by each division, and I will talk about American East, American Central, and American West, and National East, National Central and National West. And I will introduce each team in the division, and I will show how many players are in my top 200 players, and give them some introduction and something to notice for the new season. Okay, so let me start from the American East. So I will introduce each team order by the team performance I predicted. Okay, so the first team I want to introduce is Toronto Blue Jays. So for a new season, I predict them will win 92 games and lose 70 games, and they will get the number one. They will get the first place in the American East. So for 200 players for Toronto Blue Jays, I think they have 6 players in the. They have 6 players in my top 200 players. So the first one is Randy Arozarena. He got 77, and for last year he just got 158. So he just improved a lot from the last season, and also he got a good performance in these WBC games in both hitting and his fielding. And the number 2 is Shane McClanahan. He got 84 plays for this season. I think he's the new ace in the. Oh, sorry. No. This is Tampa Bay Rays. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so for Toronto Blue Jays, they got 12 players in my top 200 players. So the first one is Matt Chapman. He got 28 plays in this season. It's just similar. Last year he got 27, so that's similar. And the second one is Vitor Guerrero Jr. He got 31st place in this season, and he got 33 plays for last season. So a little bit improved. Okay, so the next one is Bobby Shedd. He's in a 36th place. It's just same of last year. And next one, and they have Joe Springer. He got 40th place in this season. And they have Kevin Gausman. They got 56th place in this season. And next one is Andrew Kirk. He got 80th place. I think he got a good performance for last season, and he also in the All-Star game for a starting catcher. Yeah, so he did a good job for last season. So this is why he got 80 plays. And next one is Alek Manoah. Yeah, Alek Manoah, I think he got 90 plays for this season. Just similar to Andrew Kirk, both of them got very good performance for last season. And next one is Santiago Espino, the second baseman. He didn't in the list of my top 200 players last season, and congratulations, he got 126. And the next one is Chris Bassett. He is in 129 place in this season. And next one is Dalton Varsho. He got 141 plays. And next one is Danny Jansen. He got 168. Actually, he he played not bad for last season. That's just because Andrew Kirk had a very good hitting performance, so this is why he got some chance for starting catcher in Toronto Blue Jays. But sometimes Andrew Kirk he may go to a DH, and then Danny Jason will get a catcher. And the next one is Jordan Romano. I think he's a closer in his team. He got 172 plays in his team in my top 200 players. So just look at this list. Yeah, Toronto Blue Jays, they have some they have some prospect players and young players. They just become stronger, like Vidal Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette. They are very young and they still have space to improve. So this is why I think they can have a better performance, and they can get a number one in the American East. And the second place in the American East, I think, is New York Yankees. They will win 88 games and lose 74 games. And for New York Yankees, there's 10 players in my top 200 players. And of course, they have Aaron Judge. He got second place he got second place for this year. And Garrett Cole, their ace, is got 26 plays in the new season. Yeah, he just get some step back in this season because he got number 4 in last season. And next one is Carlos Rodon. He got 50 plays in this season, and he improved a lot because he got 188 plays for last season. And next one is DJ LeMahieu. He got 62nd place. And next one is Anthony Rizzo. Yeah, Anthony Rizzo, I think he got a worse batting average, but he still has the ability to hit a home run and get to the base. So this is why he didn't get banned a lot. And next one is Harrison Bader. He got 86th place. And next one is Gleyber Torres. He got 106. And Nestor Cortes, he got 110th place. Yeah, Nestor Cortes, he got a very good job in that season, and originally he just wanted to play for Team USA in WBC, but he got some a little injured, so he just left the Team USA. But actually, he's born in Cuba, so that's interesting. And the next one is Giancarlo Stanton. He got 121st place in this season. So for Giancarlo Stanton, he still have ability to hit a home run, but also he got many strikeouts, and he also got a very low batting average, just like Anthony Rizzo. But he didn't have a good performance to get in the base like Anthony Rizzo, so this is why his ranking is lower than Anthony Rizzo. And next one is Josh Donaldson. This is also similar to Giancarlo Stanton. Yeah, but I think Josh Donaldson, because he's 36 or 37 years old, actually maybe he'll be go back. Maybe he'll be worse this year. Maybe, I don't know. So for a Yankees this year, Yankees still have some good players, but they got and actually they played very good in the first half in the first half of last year, but they got very worse performance in the second half. So so but they still got a second place in the American League, and they just went to uh, the AL Championship, and they are beaten by Houston Astros. Uh, so I don't know. I don't think New York Yankees can play it very well because based on the experience of past few years, they they may have some injuries or or some or or some of players maybe got worse in this year. I don't know. So this is the uh, so this is and I don't know. So this is and this recycle they just got a curse, because they always got a good player, but they have some reasons they cannot have a good performance in postseason. So I don't think they will got a very good performance. So this is why I put them in the second place. They only got 88 wins and 74 losses. And the third place is Tampa Bay Rays. They will win 86 games and 76 and lose 76 games. And they got 6 players in my top 200 players. So the first one is Randy Arozarena. Yeah, he got 77 plays in this season. He also improved a lot in this season, and he also played very well in these WBC games. And he represent he represent Mexico, but actually he is born in Cuba. But I think he's got but I think he's Mexican right now. I think he's Mexican right now. And the next one is Shane McCann. Yeah, he is the new ace of the Tampa Bay Rays, and he got 84th place in my top 200 players. And I didn't put him last year. And next one is Wander Franco. He got 101. And actually he got the injuries last year. Otherwise, I maybe put him in a higher place. And next one is Yandy Diaz. He got 122. And next one is Brandon Lowe. He got 131st. Actually, he was worse a lot in last season, because last season I gave him 29th place. He just moved back more than 100 plays. That's too crazy. And the next one is Isaac Paredes. I think he is the new third baseman in this season, because Yandy Diaz moved to the first base. Okay, so for this year for Tampa Bay Rays, just similar to the last season, they maybe have some good players, good hitters, but they they didn't get too much good pictures, except Shane McClanahan. Yeah. So this is why I don't have any. I don't have too much confidence to put Tampa Bay Rays to a higher rank and higher performance. And the fourth place, I think, is a little bold, but I will put Baltimore Orioles in the fourth place, and he will get 83 wins and 79 loses. So for top 200 players, they got Cedric Mullins. He got 39th place. And next one is Adley Rutschman. He got 76th place in my top 200. Yeah, I think he's a very top prospective player for last year, and he actually got a very good performance in last year. And I think many media just put him in very front, but I don't think that's a good idea to put only play one season player to a very top place. Yeah, because actually it is a high risk, you know. And next one is Ramon Urias. I put 114. And another one is Anthony Santander. I got 127th. Actually, another players we can notice is Connor Henderson. I think he is the top prospective players in Baltimore Orioles, and I think he will be the starting shortstop in this season, and many media just put them in the top 100 or top 50. But he didn't play any games in MLB, so based on my tradition, I will not put any players into my list I will not put the player without playing any games into my list. Okay, so for Baltimore Orioles, they played very well in last season, and nobody could expect they can play very well. And the reason they can play very well is just because their prospective players it's become strength and improve faster than or expected. So in this season, I think they will keep growing, keep stronger, and maybe they have they got more prospective players, and maybe they have some more prospective players into MLB this season. But this team is still too young, so I cannot put them into a very good place. So I put them in number 4. I think this is very bold prediction. Okay, so number 5 in the American East is Boston Red Sox. They will win 73 games and lose 89 games. So, sorry. They got Baltimore Orioles also got Adam Frazier. He is in 184th place. Okay, let's come back. So for Boston Red Sox, yeah, of course they have Rafael Devers. He is in 23rd place in this season. And they got Trevor Story, got 59 place. And they got Justin Turner, 94th place. He kept the same as the last year. Last year he's also got 94th place. And they have Kenny Jensen. They got 102nd place. And the last one is Alex Verdugo. He got 187th place. Yeah. And also this year they got Yoshida and Yu Cheng. Both of them played very well in WBC games. Yeah, but Yoshida, it is his first year to play the MLB. Although he played very well in WBC, but he still need to prove himself that he can play in the MLB. So this is why I didn't consider him into my top 200. And Yu Chen, he played in 4 teams last year, and Boston is his last stop for last season, and also he keep representing for Boston Red Sox for this year, and he got very well in WBC games and got an MVP for the Pool A in the Pool A. So this is the important reason that the Boston Red Sox will put him into the final roster in this season. Hope him can play very well in this season and just stay in MLB. Okay, so for this season, Boston Red Sox, they don't have any significant changes for this year, and they lose the Xander Bogaerts, So this is why I cannot put them into a very, very good place. Okay, so this is the introduction for the American East. Okay, so for total, American East League total they got 422 wins and 388 losses. So I think their winning probability is 52.09%. I think this is the highest winning percentage for all 6 divisions. Okay, so the next division I will talk about is American Central. Okay. So the first place in American Central will be Chicago White Sox. And they will win 91 games and lose 71 games. So for top 200 players, they got Dylan Cease. He got 54th place. And also they got Liam Hendricks. They got 66th place. And Andrew Benintendi, he plays for White Sox for this year. And Luis Robert, he got 98th place. And Yasmin Grandal, he got 108th place. He played very shocking last year. So last year he got number 17th, but this year he got 108th place. He just backward a lot. And next one is Lucas Giolito. So I think he didn't play very well last year as well, and he just moved from 30 to 111. He's also backward a lot. And the next one is Yoel Moncada. Yeah, yeah, he also played didn't play very well last year. So he got 118th place. And also the next one is Tim Anderson, he got 125th place. And Lance Lynn, he got 160 place. So yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They got 9 players in my list, but most of them didn't play very well in last season. So this is also why Chicago White Sox didn't play very well in last season. But if these players played well, actually Chicago White Sox is very competitive team in this season. So I'll put them 91 wins in the new season. This is actually not very high, but if they are healthy and play as normal, I think 91 wins is not very hard. It's not very hard for them. Okay, so the second place I think is Cleveland Guardians. So they will got 87 wins and 75 losses. And the top 200 players, they got many players in my top 200. Also, they got Jose Ramirez. He got number 5. He's also very well. He got a second place in last year, and this year's number 5 is still very good. And the second one is Emil Clase. He got 34th place in this year. I think he is a very top closer in this season. And I think, and also Edwin Diaz got injured, so I think Emil Clase is one of the top closer in this season. And the next one is Shane Bieber. He got 49th place in this season. He is also played very well in last season. Okay, so and next one is Tristan McKenzie. He got 120th place in this season, and he played and he got a second starting pitcher. He played very well. And next one is Josh Bell. You got 138th place. And next one is Andres Jimenez. He got 140th place. He also he is a top prospective player for Cleveland, and he played very well in last season. And next one is M. Rosario. He got 155th place. And next one is Kyle Quindro. He got 183rd place in this season. And also they have Miles Straw, also 185th place in this season. So for Cleveland, they played very well. Also, they played very well that season. Actually, very, very, very. I think many people cannot expect they can play very well last season, because their prospect players play very well. But in this season, because these players still very young, and also actually Chicago White Sox is actually a strong team. So for Cleveland, it is a little bit difficult to maintain their performance last year, but they still have a probability to have a better performance in this year. So I still put them in second place. And for the third place, I will put Minnesota Twins. They got 84 wins and 78 losses. Yeah, so for Minnesota, actually, maybe they're not. Maybe they are not a very top team, but they should play. They should play for playoff. But they still a playoff level team. But they didn't play very well in that season. Uh, for this season, they have Chicago White Sox. They are very strong, and Cleveland, they are also very strong, and they are stronger than or expected. So for Minnesota, I I can only put them in the third place. So for my top 200 players, they got Carlos Correa. He got 35th place. And Carlos Correa, that's interesting because he went to the San Francisco first, but he didn't pass. But he didn't pass the health check, and then he went to the New York Mets, and he also, because of the health issue, he didn't go to the New York Mets, so he just stayed in the Minnesota Twins, and also his ranking is from 19th in that year backward to the 35th place in this season. And next one is Brian Broxton. He got 42nd place in this season. He still have little improve. Yeah, maybe he can get better this season if he is healthy in this season. And next one is Jorge Polanco. He got 112th place in this season. And next one is Tristan Vasquez. He got 149th place in this season. And they have Max Kepler. He got 151st. Sonny Gray, they got 152nd. And also they have Taylor Mahale. They got 193rd place. So actually for Minnesota, they got 7 players in my top 200 players. Actually, 7 players, 7 players, not bad actually. Okay, so the 4th place in American Central, I think, is Detroit Tigers. They got 71 wins and 91 losses. So for Detroit, the only Javier Baez in my list. He got 96th place in this season. Yeah. So in 2021, they play very well. It's actually very close to 50% of winning probability, but they still backward again in this season, and they still don't have some noticeable player. So this is why I can only put them into the 4th place and predict them for 71 wins. But they will not get a last place. I think this is a good news for them because the last place I will predict is Kansas City Royals. I will predict them for 68 wins and 94 losses for this season. But they have 3 players in my top 200. The first one is Salvador Perez. He got 82th place. Also, he played very well in these WBC games. He represent for Venezuela, and he got a pool. I think it's pool D MVP. Yeah, and the other two is the top prospect players. One is Bobby Witt Jr. He got 163rd place, and not and another one is Vinny Pasquantino. He got 166th place, and the Vinny Pasquantino he represent Italy in these WBC games, but he didn't play very well in these WBC games. Yeah. So for Kansas City, they also didn't have many noticeable players except Press, Bobby Witt, and Pasquantino. So this is why I put them in the last place. Okay. So for totally, the American Central they got 401 wins and 409 losses. The winning percentage is 49.5. So they got they got the fifth place in 6 divisions. Okay, so the next part is the American West. So the first place I will predict will be Houston Astros. They got 104 wins and 58 losses. So the winning percentage for them is 64.2. So this is the highest winning percentage in this season. Okay, so and also, but this is very reasonable because at Houston Astros they have very strong rosters and they win the championship for last season. So actually, this is very not surprise for them, and they got 9 players in my top 200 my top 200, and very interesting because 8 of them are in the top 100. So that means there are only 1 players. His rankings is between 100 and 200. Yeah, so for Houston Astros, they have Jordan Alvarez. He's the number 13th in this season. He had played very well in last season. He got the number 3 in the MVP voting. And so this is why he is from 55th to number 13th. And the second player is Jose Altuve. He got number 19th. And Kyle Tucker, he also played very well in that season. So he got number 25th. And next one is Alex Bregman, is 27th. And next one is Jose Abreu, he got number 60. And Michael Brantley, he got 81st. And Ryan Presley is number 91. He's the closer of the Astros. And of course, their ace is Farmer Valdez, is number 92. Yeah. So this is for the Houston Astros. They're still very strong in this year. Oh, and they got Jeremy Pena. They got 104. And because Carlos Correa went to the Minnesota, so Jeremy Pena is from their farm systems, and he played very well. He played very well in his first MLB season. Hope him can keep maintaining this performance. Okay, so the second place in the division is Seattle Mariners, and they will got 91 wins and 71 losses. Actually, this is similar to the last year. Yeah, so Seattle went to the postseason last year. Yeah, and they played very well, but because Houston is too strong, so although Seattle still can play in the playoff, but maybe they still only have a wild card in this season. But they still got some very good players. They have uh they have 11 players in my top 200. It's actually more than Houston. That's cool, right? So they got Luis Castillo, got 55th place, and Julio Rodriguez is 58th place in this season, and he got the best rookie player in the last season. He actually played very well. So many media put him maybe in the top 20 or top 30. I saw the ESPN put him, I think, in the second place or eighth place. That's too crazy because it's a very huge risk. That's just his second season. He put him in the top 10. Are you sure? Yeah, but if he also got very good performance in this season, maybe I will put them in top 30 or top 20 next year, maybe. Yeah, and next one is Eugenio Suarez, he got 99th place, and also next one is Colton Wong, he got 100th place, and Ty France in 105, and Teoscar Hernandez, he got 124th place, JP Crawford, he got 144th place, and Robbie Ray in 145th place. Actually, he moved back a lot because he just got 67th place in last year, but he didn't play very well in this season, so he just moved back to 145. And next one is Kyle Rayleigh, he got 159. And Logan Gilbert is 169th place. And George Kirby is 170th place. So actually they didn't have so many changes in this year, so they're still very competitive, but Houston is too strong, so maybe so they still only get the wild card this season. Yeah. And the third place I think is Texas Rangers. They got 75 wins and 87 losses. So for a Texas, they just get some. They just buy some top. They just buy some top player in the market. So they got Marcus Semien. They got Marcus Semien in number 18, and Corey Seager in number 20, Jacob deGrom in number 29, and Adolis Garcia in number 97, and Jonah Heim in number 174, Martin Perez in 179, Ethan Evolati in 188, and Nathan Lowe in 189. So Marcus Semien, he got number 7 last year, but he didn't play very well in the beginning of last season, but he still but he become better in the second half of last season. And also Jacob deGrom, he got number 8 in that season, but he got some injuries. So he got injuries in that season. And also he didn't play very well in the last few games in that season. Yeah, of course, for his level, he didn't play very well. But he's still a very top pitcher in this league. So I still put him in number 29. And Arodys Garcia, I think he improved a lot. Last year I put in 192, but this year he improved to 97. And yeah, they just buy some top players from the market. But I don't think just buy some top players and the team will become stronger. Yeah. And for number 4, it'll be for Los Angeles Angels. They got 73 wins and 89 losses. So of course they have Mike Trout. He's still number 1. He still got number 1 in this season, and Shohei Ohtani got number 3. Yeah, Shohei Ohtani, and also they have Hunter Renfroe in 107, Tyler Anderson in 137. Yeah, and Patrick Sandoval in 147, and Taylor Ward in 158, and Anthony Rendon in 199. So actually, they are the best two players. They are the best 2 players, but the team still very hard to play the playoff because other players are very weak, especially pitcher. But I think this season maybe they will get better. Like they have Taylor Anderson and Patrick Sandoval. Actually, they have played not bad in that season. So if Taylor Anderson and Patrick Sandoval plays as well as last season, maybe they still have a chance to improve. Another player we can notice is Anthony Rendon, because he becomes worse and worse after he came to Los Angeles. Yeah. So for Los Angeles Angels, although they have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, I don't think they can fight with Seattle Mariners and Houston Astros. Even Texas Rangers, I don't think they can. They have a high probability to beat them. Okay, so the last place is absolute Oakland Athletics. Yeah, the A's still rebuild their teams, and the only 2 players we can notice is Tony Kemp for their second baseman, and he got 182. And another one is Raymond Laureano. He got 190s. He didn't play very well in that season. Yeah, because so he is moved back from 120 to 190. And other players, you don't know who are they. So they can only get the last place. So for Oakland, I will predict them for 62 wins and 100 losses. I think this is the worst performance in American League. So for total, in American West, I think they will got 405 wins and 405 losses. Actually, there will be 50% of winning percentage. Okay, so the next division I want to talk is the National East. So for a National East, the first place I will predict will be Atlanta Braves. They will got 96 wins and 66 losses. Yeah. And for the top 200 players, they have 11 players they have 11 players in my top 200 players. So of course they have Ronald Acuna Jr. He is in 22nd place, and they have Matt Olson in 32nd, Sean Murphy for 33rd, Max Fried for 44th, Austin Riley for 45, Michael Harris second got 69th. The six of them played. Actually, they played very well in that season, so this is why. And they were in the top 100. And next one is Rachel Iglesias. He's in 117th. And Spencer Strider, they got 119th. And Ozzy Elvis in 136th. And Charlie Morton in 139. And Travis DeArnaud in 167. So, as we can see, because these players they are not too old, and you can say they are young, and especially position players, they just gotta extend. They just gotta extended. They just got extended for Atlanta Braves. So these players still play in the team maybe for the next few years. So that means they will be very strong in next few years. Although Ronald Acuna Jr. He has a little worse in last year, so this is why he backward from 11 to 22. And they have Sean Murphy. Actually, he is a top catcher in this league, and he moved to Atlanta. You will make them more stronger. And another one is Ozzy Elvis. He is the only one have a significant backward. He's from 39 to 136. He is almost backward for almost 100 places. And also Charlie Morton is also backward a lot. He's backward from 58 to 139. But this just because Charlie Morton is old, so we can understand that Charlie Morton may backward. Okay, so this young and potential a very strong team, and we're still very impressive that Atlanta finally they got 101 wins in last season, and actually they got same for New York Mets, but Atlanta beats New York Mets for more times, so this is why they got the first place. And the second team I will predict is New York Mets. They got 91 wins and 71 losses. And of course, they got some top 200 players. They have Pete Alonso. They got Edwin Diaz. They got They have Pete Alonso for 41, Edwin Diaz for 43, and Jeff McNeil for 51, Max Scherzer for 61, Justin Verlander for 64, Starling Marte for 73, Mark Canha for 130, Eduardo Escobar in 132, Jose Quintana for 176. So, although most of them are just buy from buy from other teams, but they still become a very competitive team, and they just they just they just only lose in the final step in that season, because New York Max led the division most of the time in the last season, but the Atlanta Brave is still very competitive. Is their difference is not more than 2 games, and then in the end of season they have 3 games played each other, and Atlanta Braves got 3, and Atlanta Braves swept them, and the standings, the Atlanta Braves standings will overpass the New York Mets, and finally they both of them got 101 wins, but uh, but based on the games they played each other, the Atlanta Braves wins more against than New York Mets. So Atlanta Braves got the first place, and the New York Mets got second place. And also in the postseason, they met the San Diego Press in the first round, and they played 5 games, and then Mets lose it. Yeah. And for this season, they just lose Edwin Diaz. He got hurt in WBC games, so they just lose a closer. It's very hurt because Edwin Diaz is the best closer in this league. Okay, so and also I think Atlanta Braves is still more competitive than New York Mets. So this is why I put Atlanta for 96 wins and New York Mets for 91 wins. And also another thing, both of them wins more than 100 games in last season, but this time I predicted them below 100 games. They have another important reason. That is Philadelphia Phillies. It becomes more stronger than that season. I predict them for 88 wins and 74 losses. Yeah. So the top 200 players in Phillies, they have Trey Turner for number 4th, and Bryce Harper for number 15th, JT Realmuto for number 16th, Aaron Nola for number 21, Zach Wheeler for 37, Kyle Schwarber for 74th, Rhys Hoskins for 173. So for Trey Turner, I think he's more improving this season, because he hit 5 home runs in WBC games. That's too crazy. And Bryce Harper, I think he's still a top player in this league. And JT Realmuto is become the top of the catcher in this league. And Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler is still a top pitcher in this league. And Kyle Schwarber, he is also a good player. And Rhys Hoskins, maybe he's not bad, but his fielding is, I don't know, very worse. Yeah, the most problem for them, the most serious problem for them, the first one is the first one is defense. Their defense is very worse, and you can call them a mess. And another thing for Philadelphia, I think, is their bullpen. So Also, their bullpen is also very, you can also say very mess. So if their starters cannot play well, it is very hard to win a game for them. But in the postseason, because they have Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola, so it is very easy to win in the first two games. And it is a benefit for them to go to the next phases. So this is why they went to the World Series in the last year and got a second place in the last season. Okay, so they have the three teams who are very strong in the division. So that means the last two will be Miami and Washington. Miami Marlins and Washington Nationals. That means they are very weak. But Miami Marlins is a little bit better. Yeah, I will predict them for 72 wins and 90 losses. Actually, it will be a little better than the past 2 years, I think. So for Miami, they have Sandy Alcantara, the Cy Young Award for last season, and Luis Alvarez. He has the best hitting average for last season in American League. And Chas Chicham Jr., their central fielder, is actually played very well in last season. And Gene Segura, I think he's from Seattle and he plays in Miami this season. So they still have four players in my top 200. So for Sandy Alcantara for 46, Luis Alvarez for 71, and Jess Chicham Jr. for 103, and Gene Segura for 135. Okay, so the last one is absolutely Washington Nationals. They all got 60 wins and 102 losses. I think it's the worst team in this league. The winning percentage is only 37%. 37%. Yeah, because they just need to rebuild their team, and they don't have any good. They don't have too much good players in their major league team and their farms. So there are only 3 players in my top 200, and 3 of them are in the bottom part in my list. The first one is Joey Macendas, they got 161, and Luis Garcia, their second baseman, is 165, and Jimmy Candelario is 194. He is from Detroit, but actually he got 103 last year, but he didn't play well in last season, so he just moved backward to 194. But I hope he can become better in this season. Okay, so this is the first part of my MLB analysis for the upcoming season, and I will share the second part of my analysis in my next episode of Talk. Okay, so see you next time. Bye.